Hi guys, it's Kristina. So today I'm going to do my highly requested skincare routine for you guys because a lot of people have been asking what kind of products I use, what kind of skin type I have, you know, like my new subscribers, because I have done a video on that a long time ago, but since then my products have changed because I've been trying to find like the perfect routine, you know, to fix my skin because I have had problems with it that I've been going through, and now that I finally have got my routine down and I can actually like tell you guys that these products are good, you know, they're not just something I'm testing. Like I've tried them for months and they work for me, and maybe they can work for you guys, so I want to share them with you guys just to kind of tell you guys, you know, some tips that I do on a daily basis, what I believe, you know, is better for your skin, and then show you the products that I use, obviously. Okay, so before I show you the products, let me explain you guys what kind of skin I have and my skin type, you know, what my problems are, like what the areas of focus are for me, so that way maybe if you have the same problems or skin type, you can relate and you can find out what is, you know, good for you, because, you know, it's not going to make sense for you to use these products if you don't have the same concerns or the same skin type or anything like that. But if you do, then maybe some of these products or tips will help you. So first, let me tell you that my skin has always been combination. By that I mean that sometimes, you know, some areas would be dry, some areas would be normal, some areas would be oily. It's very, you know, just kind of mix and match and dependent obviously on the weather, the climate, like what season it is, where I am, because you guys know, like, I'm from Ukraine, and when I go back to see my family, it kind of changes up a little bit because the climate is different. So it just depends, but I have been having problems with oiliness and also with breaking out. So quickly to run through like my problem backgrounds, basically, you know, as every teenager, I had like acne back in the day. Not acne like really bad, but I have had pimples when I was a teenager. I'm 22 now, by the way. So when I was a teenager in high school, you know, I had some problems. Mainly I had like pimples on my forehead, you know, on my nose or whatever, like basically like this T-zone right here. I never had problems with my cheeks. I know a lot of people get acne on their cheeks when they're a teenager. I never had any acne or pimples on my cheeks or my chin, nothing. Just like basically my forehead, I would get some pimples, kind of weird, you know. But then once I turned like 18 or something like that, it just, you know, disappeared, and I was like, oh, you know, that was just kind of like a phase. It was teenager years, you know, blah blah blah. My skin is fine now. And then I went through like 2 years till I was 20 where I didn't need any kind of products. I could just use some regular drugstore wash for my face and everything would be fine. I didn't even take my makeup off sometimes. I would just sleep with it, and I didn't have any breakouts. I never had any problems, you know. I would maybe get a pimple here and there if it's like the time of the month or something, but I really had no problems with my skin. So I didn't really worry about it, focus it or anything like that. But then once I hit 20, I don't know what happened, but I went to Ukraine one time, and after that it just kind of hit me where I would start getting breakouts all through like my chin and kind of like on the lower cheek area, and it was awful. And like it would be the pimples where they're not like even the little ones where you can just pop, like before I could pop the little white ones, but it was like the ones that are like thick under your skin, and it's not like they were like erupting like acne, but they were still like really under the skin, like a lot, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like a bump and you don't see it for days, but it's there, but the pimple doesn't come out, so it's like really like underneath your skin. And it was just annoying because then it would be so bad where it would scar my skin for a few weeks, and then if I didn't have any makeup on, I would just have these little dots all over my face, you know. It was just not attractive. So I went through a long time, you know, it's been 2 years now, and I finally got my routine down where I can tell you that it's working for me, and I can honestly say that it's definitely cleared up a lot. And I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried different products, like high-end drugstore. I've tried microdermabrasions even to do for months. I paid a lot of money for that, you know, and it would kind of like slough off the dead skin cells and stuff like that. But the problem was still there. They would still happen. It would still, you know, clear up like the microderms kind of helped me to clear up some of the scarring because it takes off the top layer of your skin, but the problem was still there. I was still getting all these pimples on my chin, which I didn't know why. And the lady there, she actually, you know, she's a dermatologist, she's professional, so she told me basically that in your 20s you can go, you know, some people, I mean everyone's different, some people go through like hormonal changes which are different from like the teenager years, and basically this chin right here area, if you get pimples around here, it either means that you have like hormonal changes or you're going through stress, which probably I was having both. But I was struggling with it because it's like, you know, it would just happen. Doesn't matter what I did to my skin, I would just get these acne, and then after I got rid of them, I would get, you know, scarring, and at the time of the month I would get even more of them. So it was really kind of like a vicious cycle because I cleared up the pimples, the scarring was still there. I was almost getting rid of the scar, and then the pimples would come back again and get more scarring. It was just so annoying, and that's why also I haven't done my skincare routine for a while, like an updated one, because I wanted to make sure that I have like the exact products that I love, you know, and tell you guys not just like some products randomly that I'm using, but like actual products that work, you know. So all that said, now let me show you guys what I'm using. So I have a little bit of a different routine in the daytime and in the nighttime. And basically the two products, or actually the three products that I think are the most, or actually no, it's four products that I think are like staples to my routine. But I will show you some other ones, are basically my Proactiv. I have a bunch of products just like sitting on my shelf, like just collecting them over time. So I ran out of my face wash one time, and I just picked up this, and it actually helps a lot. Proactiv. I don't know why it's helping me a lot, but I noticed that my breakouts have gone down a lot. I used to use this when I was a teenager, and then I just stopped because I was like, oh well, you know, I don't have acne anymore, it's whatever. But actually it does help. Like, and if you're an adult, you can have acne too, and don't be like, you don't have to feel embarrassed about it, you know, because I was kind of like, oh, I don't need it, like, you know, I'm not a teenager anymore. But you can have acne and you can have pimples, and it really does help. And I don't know why this helps me. I'm thinking it's one of the two things. Either it's because it's stronger, you know, it's not just like a regular face wash off the shelf in the drugstore, or two is because the active ingredient here is the benzoyl peroxide, which a lot of the drugstore or like even higher end products, the active ingredient is salicylic acid, and maybe this is better for my skin. I don't know. Some people are allergic to like salicylic acid and they can't even use that. You know, everybody's different. So maybe for my skin this works better. I'm not sure. But for some reason this works. And then for my scarring, this is the product that I love. This is my second one of these. I repurchased it. It's from Clinique. This is the Even Better Clinical Dark Spot Corrector, and it helps my scarring a lot. But you have to give it time. Skincare takes a long time. You can't just use a product for a couple of days and be like, oh, it's not working, you know. You have to give it time. It takes a long while for your whole skin cell cycle to like shed and renew itself. It takes like a month, I believe, you know, if you actually like research it and look it up, you know, it takes a long time. So I was using this for maybe at least like 4 weeks before I actually started seeing results, and my scarring started clearing up a lot. And you guys can see, because I was getting requests, like this is why I'm doing this video, is because it was requested. Because when I would do my tutorials, in the beginning of my tutorial, you guys see me with no makeup, and people would request me to do like skincare videos because they would be like, oh, your skin looks good, and I'm like, thank you, like it's such a compliment, because I used to have like all this, you know, pimples and scarring and stuff like that, and it's actually like I'm just proud of it, you know. I'm not trying to like brag or anything like that, but I was there. I know how bad it used to be, and I'm proud of the fact that, you know, I got it cleared up. I found the products to use it, and I'm so glad. This is one of the products that I'm loving because it actually clears up my dark spots perfectly. But it does take time though. And the reason that I use serums on my skin is basically, like I said, it's kind of oily, so I have tried using moisturizers, like actual daily moisturizers and creams, and it did not work for me. It just made my skin super oily throughout the day. It was awful. So I like just a little tiny bit of moisturization, like a little bit of serum, and that's, you know, enough for my skin. So if you have dry skin, you know, that's totally different, but this is what works for me. Then another one is the Philosophy Cleanser. This is the Purity Cleanser, and a lot of people rave about this one. I got it on discount on Outlook, and I will link the link to that website down below. You can sign up. They would have like deals. They send you emails on what deals they have, so they don't always have the same products. But when you see Philosophy on there, like I got it, and it was in a bundle together with the Hope cream, but I don't use that. I just use this, and I'm loving it. I first heard about this product from Holly Ann Marie here on YouTube, and she was saying how good it is, like to wash your skin. It's very gentle, and that's exactly what it is. Basically, it doesn't sting my eyes, it doesn't sting my skin, nothing. It's very gentle, but it removes all of my makeup, so I love this product a lot. And you don't need a lot of it, you just use a little bit. Like I've had this bottle for a long time. I just didn't want to like buy it because it's kind of pricey, but once I saw it on Outlook, I was like, you know, why not just go ahead and try it since it was on discount. But it's definitely a good investment. Like I would definitely recommend this. Another product that is a staple for me is the Clinique, this is called the Redness Solutions Daily Relief Cream. And this basically gets rid of your redness in your skin, because I used to have, and this is no joke, I'm not even lying, I used to have redness all around my nose, kind of like going to my cheeks, not my whole cheek, but just kind of like around my nose and all my chin. Like the entire chin would be red. For some reason, it just tended to be that. And I started using this back in like spring. I've had these, the Dark Spot Corrector and the Proactiv Cleanser and the Redness Relief Cream in my favorites before, like during the summer. I've used it for a long time and it actually works. Like, so I told you guys about these products, and this actually got rid of my redness. Now, I basically don't even have like almost any redness. Only thing I would have red is like like the creases of your nostrils, kind of like right there, you know, but it's kind of like a weird area, so I don't even know if that will ever go away. But it basically got rid of like all of this redness that I used to have up here and my entire chin. Now when I don't have any makeup on, it's not red. I don't know how it did that, but hey, it really did. But it did take also like a long time. It took like a few weeks for me to start seeing results. I was using it every single day, and maybe after like 3-4 weeks I started seeing that my redness was going away and finally just diminished completely. And I was like, wow, are you kidding me? So definitely give it time, be patient. You know, you can't just expect things to just work off the bat for you, but you know, skin takes a long time. So yeah. So now I'm just going to quickly run through my routines that I do. So in the morning, basically I would use the Proactiv wash in the shower. I would wash my face, and if I have any like breakouts, I would just do like, you know, up here on my shoulders or something like that, because sometimes I would get like a pimple occasionally, so it's kind of like a preventative measure too. And then once I get out of the shower, I would use my Clinique Toner, and that's another like staple. It's not a must-have, but it makes my skin feel so good. And I used to not believe in toners. I used to be like, oh, you know, like what do they do? Because I literally used a bunch of different toners before, like really expensive ones. And this is the 3. So basically this is for combination skin that tends to be oily, which is what mine is. And it makes my skin feel so refreshed. I would just use like one of these little cotton pads. I would put some on it and kind of rub it through my face, my neck and stuff like that. And it would just make it feel so refreshed. And also, like, you know, after you wash your face, it's kind of like drying. It would put all the moisture back where I wouldn't even think like I would need a cream or anything like that on my face, which I still use, but it just feels so refreshing. Kind of like it puts all this stuff back into your skin. It just feels so good, you know. And I didn't believe in toners, like I said before, because I used the wrong one. So if you don't like toners, I would suggest you keep trying until you find one that you actually are comfortable with, because I have tried somewhere, they didn't do anything. Like the one from Proactiv, I tried the toner from them and I was like, okay, this is not doing anything. I was like, what's the point of it? Then I tried this other one from Clinique too, but this is the 2 instead of 3, which I love. This is the 2, which is combination skin that tends to be dry, and it stings my skin. Like it literally burns it, where I'm like, oh my god, it's like putting alcohol in your skin or something, which I'm sure it's not that strong, but it's not for my skin. It's just wrong. So if you have tried toners before and you just hated it, or you just didn't see the point of it, I would just suggest that you keep trying, you know, because it really just makes your skin feel so good. And it also takes off like the excess makeup, which I do at night, so I'll get to that. So I would do that after the shower, and then basically I would pump out the serum, the Dark Spot Corrector. I'll pump it out, put it all over my face, let that dry, you know, a couple minutes, and then I would put the redness cream around my nose and my chin. Even if like now I don't have it anymore, I just keep putting it anyway just to make sure it doesn't come back. You know, and I love Clinique because they give you these little samples. Like the toner I found out about through having a little sample. As you can see, it's empty now. The redness cream relief I found out through having a little sample. Like this is what I'm using now. I just purchased that big one. And I love that they give you little ones to try, because that's how I basically, you know, got to love it. And another thing, actually, I'm going to mention real quick. This video is getting kind of long, sorry. But another thing I'm going to mention is that you can go shopping online and find really great deals. I use this website called Ebates, and I will link it down below in the info box. And basically, they have all these coupons for stores, and they have, you just type in the store, and it gives you all the coupon codes to shop online. Basically, instead of going to the store and buying this, which was $13 for this big bottle, which will last me a long time, instead of going to the store, driving, wasting my time and gas, and buying it at $13, you know, with tax, I just went online. Basically, I ordered this, used the Ebates coupon that they gave me for free shipping, so I didn't pay any shipping, because a lot of people, I know, they don't like ordering online because they have to pay shipping, which Clinique normally only gives you free shipping if it's over $50, but this was $13, so obviously I was like, I'm not paying $6 for shipping. That would be like $20 for this. So I found a coupon on Ebates, I got free shipping, And I got a sample of like this little powder that's like over there laying somewhere. But basically, you know, I just use online shopping so that way I don't have to waste my gas and time driving around. And I also get coupon codes for free samples, and it's free shipping. So I love doing that. So just FYI, if you know, don't have like a store near you, you don't feel like driving or something like that, you don't have to pay shipping. You can get free samples and all that. Just shop online. You just have to have the right coupons to use. Okay, and then after I use the Redness Relief Cream, I do my eyes. I use a eye cream, and basically out of all the ones that I've tried, I know everybody's eyes are different. Out of all the ones that I've tried, I love this one the best. This is the Lancome Genifique eye, and I have to repurchase this. I'm almost out of it, but I have tried a bunch of different ones. Some of them are like too greasy, which I know is good for like if you're older, like you need more moisture under your eyes, but I don't need that. And some of them are like too milky, they're too like runny or something like that. I just didn't like the consistency. And this one is Lancome, so you know I love this. But I also tried this other Lancome one, which is this little gray one, and it's called the Rennergy Lift Volumetry, and it was awful. Like, it stings my skin around my eyes. Not even if I just get it in my eye, but like actual skin, like it stings. I don't know why. So you definitely have to kind of play around with it and find the one that works best for you. But I don't even like need one because I'm not like older or anything like that. I don't have wrinkles. But I will tell you guys the tip that I got from this woman. I met her like a year ago, and I talked about this in like a favorites video like a year ago, I believe. I met her at my work, and we got to talking and stuff like that, and she was like, how old do you think I am? And I was like 27, you know, and not just to be nice, like when you're like, oh yeah, they look kind of old, but let me tell them to look younger just to be nice. No, she like literally looked 27, and she was like, oh, I'm 36. I'm like, what? Like, she did not look 36. And skin is the main thing that you always look at to tell how old people are. Because they can look the best makeup, best hair, like anything. But if their skin looks kind of wrinkly and old, you're going to know they're old. Or, you know, maybe they're just don't take care of themselves. They smoke, I don't know, whatever. But basically, you can tell a lot by a person's skin. And she did not look old. And I was like, what do you do? And she was like, you just moisturize. I was like, what do you use? She was like, anything. She was like, I started moisturizing when I was 20 years old, and always use something around your eyes. Her eyes literally did not look old. Like, they didn't have wrinkles. I don't even know. But, I mean, a lot of it's genetics. But she was like, yeah, you just moisturize. Like, anything you got, she was just like, use anything and moisturize your area every single day. She's like, I've been doing it since I was 20, and this is why I look like this. I was like, okay, let me start doing that. So I started doing that like a year ago. That's why I've always used eye cream since then for like a year now. I just always put around my eyes like a little bit, you know, to kind of moisturize the area. And it's kind of like a preventative measure, basically. Okay, and then last step that I do in the morning is put a lash growth serum, which is like, doesn't pertain to skin, but still I'm just going to mention it. And my favorite one is this one. This is called Latisse, and you have like a little brush with it. It's like $100. It's expensive, but this lasts me like 3 months, this little thing. And you just put it on your lash line, and it makes your lashes grow. Like, no shit. It really does. And I've tried a couple of other ones. Like, I tried the Smart Lash one, which I got because it was a discount. But no, I don't like it because it stings my eyes when it gets into my like corners. Like, this one used to get into my like corners of eyes, and it was fine. Like, I didn't feel it. But this one stings like in my eyeball, and it just hurts so much. And it doesn't make my lashes grow as much as this one, like as long, you know what I mean? But I'm still going to finish this off just because I paid a lot of money for it. But this Latisse one is my favorite. Okay, and then at nighttime when I want to take my makeup off, I use my Proactiv Cleanser like I said. First, I'm not going to lie, I just take a pump of like regular hand soap that I have on my sink and get rid of my like top layer of makeup, like the thick layer, so that way this cleanser can get to my actual skin, you know, and I'm not going to have to use it twice and kind of like waste the product, you know. So I just use regular soap. I take all of my makeup off, like most of it, because it's not going to get rid of all of it because it's just hand soap. But then I use a little bit of this, and I kind of get rid of my whole entire makeup off my face and my eyes, and it actually takes off eye makeup really well. Sometimes I use this little sponge thing that I got with my L'Oreal cleanser. It's like a rubbery one, but if you have like a Clarisonic or something, you know, you can do that too. And it gets rid of your eye makeup, so I don't even use like an eye makeup remover anymore, so that's good. And then after I'm done with that, I go again with my toner, and actually gets rid of the rest of my makeup, and you have like a little tiny bit left over in your little cotton round And at first you might think like, oh, my skin is really clean, but then after I go through it with the toner, I'm like, ew, that's a lot of makeup, and like you don't realize it, but it's there, and you would have went to sleep with it. So, and then I put on a bit of my Lancome. This is called the Color Serum 5X. I've raved about this before. I love this product. I only use it at night because it's been discontinued and it's really expensive. It's like $100 for this thing. So I only use it at night, but it kind of just brightens up your complexion. It doesn't get rid of the scarring like the dark spot corrector does, but it just kind of brightens up your face. I don't know how it does it, but it just does. So I use a bit of this serum instead of my dark spot corrector, which I use in the morning. I use this at night. And then again, after that's absorbed and all, I go in with my redness relief cream around here and here. I do my under eye, you know, like eye cream, and then do my Lash serum or whatever. And then that's pretty much it. And also, you know, a couple of other products that I use sometimes. I use this little LUSH, it's kind of like a scrub. It's called the Dark Angels Cleanser, but it's really like a scrub, and it looks kind of scary. It's made out of like mud and different minerals, and it's really abrasive, so it gets rid of like all your dryness and stuff. I used to use it like every week, but now that I use it Proactiv, it's kind of grainy, so it kind of scrubs your skin every day anyway, like a little bit. But this one is like really abrasive, so I don't even have the need for it as much anymore. But if I have like, you know, if you like sunburn and you're flaking off, or you know, if you're having a really bad like spots that you want to get rid of, I don't know, whatever, I use this, and it works really well, and it's organic, like it's all natural, and so that's good. And then if I have a really nasty pimple, I use this little Mario Badescu drying lotion. I had this in my favorites as well. It's like a double layer pink with oil in the top kind of solution. You take a Q-tip, you dip it all the way to the bottom without shaking it up, and you apply it to your pimple before you go to bed because it's like pink, and you just sleep with it, and it dries it up, so it takes all that nastiness out of the pimple. If you feel it coming on, or if you already have it like out, you just kind of do like that, and it dries it out the next morning, so that way it's not going to come out again. Because you know how sometimes you pop the pimple and then somehow you get like it's back and you have like more inside. Like, I know that sounds gross, but it's true. And I'm not going to lie, I pop my pimples. Like, I just hate how gross they look. I just can't stand it on my face. If I see somebody else with a pimple on their face, it's just kind of like so nasty, you know. You just want to like pop it for them. It just looks so gross, and I don't want people to look at my face and be like, oh my god, feel the same way, and I just can't look at it in my face, so I pop it. But I know that's bad for you, but I'm not gonna lie, I do it, and you know, I would just use this to kind of dry up the rest of it, and that's it. Okay, and lastly, I'm gonna wrap up this video real quick. I use for tanning. I know a lot of people also ask me questions about tanning, and the reason I'm mentioning it in this video is because when I tan, I feel like I spray tan, by the way. I don't do like tanning beds, like barely ever anymore, because I just don't tan well. Like, I don't tan very fast, so I would need to go like every single day. But anyway, besides the point. So basically, I go spray tanning, and I feel like it kind of evens out your complexion because you don't see like the redness anymore or like the blotchiness. It kind of just makes it all one color, so I really like that a lot. And I go to my salon, and they have the spray tan that's called Versus Spa, and that's the one that I do like maybe like once per 2 weeks or something like that. But then in my house, what I use is these two products. I have had videos done on both of these. I'm going to link them both below in the info box, but I have people still asking me like what I use for tanning, because I guess they're like new subscribers. So I use Versus Spa for like my body and face once in 2 weeks, but then between those, you know, at my house I use these two. So I use the Sun Goddess one, which is a kind of like a cream lotiony thick consistency, and I put this on before bed because it's really dark. You can't just like, you know, put it on during the daytime unless you mix it with a lotion. So I put this on my face or wherever else, and it kind of makes you dark the next morning. And then this is the $1 Million Tan, and this is a spray, so this dries a lot faster, but it's also a thinner layer, so it doesn't get me dark as fast. So this is what I would use like on my face and stuff sometimes if I remember like before bed. And then this is for like more of my body, because I would spray this on like my legs or arms and kind of like rub it in with my lotion and mix it up, and that's how I do my body like during the day. If I am like, oh, I forgot to put on this before I went to bed, I put on this during the day with my lotion. And yeah, that is pretty much it. That's all I use. I'm going to wrap up this video because it's getting super long and you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, she's just talking so much. So I hope this was helpful to some of you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.